also as well. He could be, gets into a good rhythm, gets a good start. Could be as well. There is the Spanish rider Raul Taras on the Honda, one of the few riders on Dunlop tyres. So we're clearing the grid. We're getting ready to go racing at Macau. Paul Williams, another of the British riders. One of the British riders not on the grid, of course, is Matt Stevenson. So this is definitely a different scene to what we experienced yesterday. So everybody is happy. This is how they're lining up officially then. Costamo, Datsa, Murray, Hodson, and Mora and Perez, followed by Trummer, Torres and Hoffman, Holland, Williams and Thompson and Schutz and Monot at the back. So they're going around for one last time. And when they come back onto the grid into position, we will go racing again. So they're coming down to Mandarin really, really fast. We're looking at them, they're looking at a brick wall, well, not a brick wall, but a solid wall straight up ahead of them. Sheridan Murray already trying to find his way around, then it's down to Lisboa, so we're going up to about 190 miles an hour here. Really fast down this bit, and then it's hard on the brakes. You might just see a couple of rears going a little bit light. They're not going quite that fast just yet, but not far off it. It's down 40 miles an hour around here. Then you have to get really good exit on San Francisco for this climb up the hill. If you don't get that, you can lose so much time if you don't get good speed out of that corner, because that is a really steep climb up San Francisco. Then we're into the really twisty bit. Two circuits really. You have this twisting, snaking part of the gear circuit through the hill section, 30 meters elevation at Macau before they get down to Lisboa and then down to the fast straights again. Tend to most short circuits, you'll have a couple of maybe long straights linked up by lots of left-right-hand combinations like they go through now. Here, all the left and right-hand combinations are up on the hillside, and the straights are down on the waterfront. Yamaha, the most successful manufacturer at Macau with 22 wins. BMW have 3, and if Costamo, or even Datsa for that matter, makes it to the checkered flag first, that will give them 4 wins, and they'll match up with the likes of Suzuki, Kawasaki and Ducati. We do have a Suzuki and a couple of Yamahas and 4 Kawasaki's on the grid, and I think it's 4 BMWs as well. Yes, it is. So a good little mix of manufacturers. I always say, I'll go back, if you just said 20 years ago, BMW and motorcycle racing. Enough said. So yeah, it's really crucial out of Melco. They've got to get Melco right, because you need to get crucial, and I cannot emphasize how crucial it is to get excellent drive out, because it's so fast on that left-hand side as you come out of the Melco hairpin to come down to this section, because you cannot afford to lose even half a second to get up to speed through along this part of the track. So folks, this is almost it. We are about to see a return properly of motorcycle racing at Macau. And whatever cloud we did have earlier today seems to have cleared. A little bit of breeze there, which will be welcome. In fact, to be honest, once they get going, they shouldn't really notice the heat. It's only when they stop now, this is when they'll suddenly feel the heat building, but it is still early in the day. It's just coming up to 8:15 in the morning. It's the final day. There's plenty of car action to come. So we're waiting for the green flag to go up, and indeed it does. Green flag is waved at the back. Everybody in position. You can hear the throttles being blipped. We're looking to see if we can see the lights, and away we go. And it's a good start by Murray. Not such a good start by Costamo. In fact, Hodson's gone past them all without, certainly back in the 4th place as they go into Mandarin for the very first time now, on the approach to Mandarin, I should say. and Costamo is trying to pull up in the third. In fact, he has gone ahead of Hodson, but it's Murray from Datsa, the two newcomers, both on the Pens 13 machines. It's Murray on the Honda Elite, but here comes Datsa, and here comes Costamo as well. Down to Lisboa for the very first time. Keep an eye on Costamo. Not close enough, is he? Yes, he is. He's going for Datsa on the inside, but it's Murray who leads. Costamo up in a second already. Hodson trying to stay with them. They're all around through Lisboa. But Murray is the race leader. Datsa trying to stay and reclaim second place if he can. Not a great deal of opportunity for overtaking through this section, through Solitude S's, etc. But Costamo, not the best of starts from pole position. He was back in fourth place. Murray with an absolute beaut of a start. We expect to see Murray coming through. In fact, indeed he is. Mora back in fifth position. Trummer is in sixth. So Perez has lost a position or two. Already a couple of gaps appearing. So the opening lap of 8. Shoulders just kissing the wall as they go through. So coming into Police and then the climb up Moorish. Here they go. So this is up Moorish now and into Donna Maria. And Sheridan Murray, the Portuguese rider, we have had Portuguese winners in the past, is leading. But don't look over your shoulder, Sheridan, because in fact, no, not shaping up yet, but perhaps it's all about the drive here. If Costamo can get the speed, and he does look quick, he might just fancy his chances on a move on Murray, but doesn't look close enough as they come down to Fisherman's for the very first time. It's a five-way, in fact, I would suggest maybe a three-way fight at the front. In fact, Datsa is now going, and Datsa's the one to watch. And in fact, tucks back in. I was going to suggest that Datsa could have been the rider to watch there coming out into Albend. But Murray goes over. It's his name at the top of the timesheets at the end of lap 1. Costamo, though, was in fourth at this part of the opening lap and got up into second. But Datsa again is taking the fight to him. And in fact, if Costamo was thinking about Murray, I would suggest he has more to think about with Datsa, because Datsa's right behind him, tucked in on the slipstream. We're really hitting 190 mile an hour up into Lisboa, but Datsa will just have to wait his time. And it's Murray who again continues to lead. But race is on, one of course on lap 2. As long as this goes the full distance, of course, it will be won on lap number 8. Rob Hodson just not quite managing to stay with the two rides in front of him. In fact, it's as you were, apart from first and second place in qualifying. That's been flipped around. In fact, sorry, no, it's not. Of course, Murray was third, wasn't he, on the grid? So he's the one that's just ahead. Back wheel just stepping out slightly. But wherever Erno Costamo goes, David Datsa is following. And you can see how precise you have to be. The slightest mistake will just open up the door to anyone who's following. Oh dear, Murray just collecting a poor bird there. But it shouldn't have disrupted his confidence, or his rhythm, I should say. He goes wide, though, around Donna Maria. Maybe he prefers that to have the entrance to come into Macau. Costamo stayed tight around Donna Maria, and in fact, Murray just seems to maybe hitting that bird has just broken up his rhythm slightly. And here comes Costamo, and again, Murray a little bit out of shape, and Costamo's going to go for him. No, he's not close enough. In fact, I don't know whether there's still four parts of that bird, a few feathers still coming out of the front of the fairing of Murray's bike. But that may well have unnerved him, but however, you can't allow things as Costamo just slides his rear into Arbend as they begin lap 3 of 8. 3/10 of the distance between Murray and Costamo at the end of lap 2. Just must be having an issue with the time screens at the moment, unable to bring posting fastest laps, etc. But I can tell you, one thing we don't need the timesheets for, as Lucas Moura now looks to have a go at Rob Hodgson. But what we have got is a non-British 1, 2, 3 at the front. Costamo, though, he knows how to top a timesheet. He's done it in every session so far. So he could be just playing a waiting game on Murray. All the pressure really on Murray at the moment. He's leading the race. He's the one that may be just feeling the pressure a little bit more, knowing that he has to stay in front, and he's got a very fast man behind him in Costamo. In fact, it looks as if Murray is holding up Costamo. And it could just be the fact that Costamo could say at some point, right, that's it. I've had enough, I'm going past. And I just wonder if David Datzer is thinking the same thing as well. So it's as you were, as they go through here again, you won't see anything unless someone makes a mistake, wrong gear selection, very rare of course. But it's all about getting in the right position to attack the Melco hairpin, get the right line. Now we saw Don Murray before, Murray was quite wide. Here we go, and again, but then again he'll tuck in, you see, he'll just tuck in ahead of Costamo here. But then Costamo up the inside, here he goes at Melco, can he turn it in time? And Datzer's going, and it's buy one, get one free. In terms of Costamo and Datzer, they both go through on Murray, and you can see the way the bike just compresses as they bash down. So Erno Costamo, Sheridan Murray, having done all the hard work over the first 2 laps, finds himself duffed up at Melco. And we have a new race leader in Erno Costamo. However, David Datzer, and don't discount Murray. You can see with the bikes overtaking, you won't see that with cars. As I mentioned before, no overtaking with the cars, but the bikes have license to make overtaking manoeuvres at the Melco hairpin. And Sheridan Murray, in fact, now, having been passed, I think Sheridan Murray on a jump start for, in fact, that is Paul Williams, who was back on row 4. Potential jump start. But here comes Datzer at Lisboa, but again, he'll just tuck in behind. You can see the body language, just allowing Costamo to go. And it's Finland versus Germany. BMW versus BMW. And Sheridan Murray, having led for the first couple of laps and just dropping off the speed of the front 2 riders, may just be thinking, well, do you know what? A 3rd place on my first time at Macau, and not really coming from a road racing pedigree, I think he might just settle for that. So we're coming up to the halfway point of this Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix, the 54th Motorcycle Grand Prix. David Datzer is staying to Costamo. He's got his teeth sunk right into the Finn's rear, and he's falling around, and he's not going to let Costamo have this one. Still waiting for some lap times to come up, unfortunately. We've got the gaps, as you can see on the screen. And that 0.3 of a second is pretty similar to what they're doing now. So into the Melco hairpin. That's it, just following in the same tracks. And Rob Hodgson has been passed by Lucas Moura. Moura is up in the 5th. Oh, and a bit of movement from Datzer, and that might just cost him a little bit of ground. That gap might just open up between Costamo unless Datzer can gain it on the brakes into Fisherman's. Lucas Moura in 4th in, I think it was qualifying 1, just kissed the wall there. Oh, ho, ho! Costamo goes light, and he was just too hot in there. Rear lifted. It is very bumpy. The riders have said that the track is bumpier this year, or seems bumpier than it has done in the past. That's the likes of Costamo and Hodgson, of course. The likes of Datzer and Murray, it's their first time here, so they've no comparison. But that was a big heart-in-mouth moment for Erno Costamo as they came into the R-bend. Plenty of movement in the machine. And his legion of fans back in Finland will be cheering Erno Costamo on right now, as to David Datzer. They both know each other very well from the International Road Racing Championship. That takes place at circuits across Belgium and Germany and Finland and the Czech Republic, of course. So it's a two-way duel at the front. Costamo's been here before, David Datzer hasn't. But he's really taken to this track really well. And he's managing to stay with the Finnish rider. What it does appear, and again, we can't say anything until that checkered flag is waved, of course, but it looks like BMW will be getting their 4th victory at Macau. So out of police. Datzer continuing to hunt down Costamo. And he'll be comfortable with the gap between both riders, although he does swing a little bit wide around Donna Maria. However, that means you can carry a little bit of speed into Melco, but then, of course, you don't want to be stopping too hard into Melco because you want speed around the turn as you can to get back on the throttle for the exit as Murray goes round and Mora still in 4th place. And it is the Costamo Datzer show. And with the gaps elsewhere down the field, you can understand why we're staying with these two riders. However, Costamo between him and Datzer this time around than they did on the previous lap coming through. So across the line they go, and it was 0.3 of a second. It's now gone out to 0.7 of a second. Datzer using a K1 front tyre and a K0 on the back. Sheridan Murray, the early race leader, ploughing a lonely furrow at the back as he comes out of Mandarin, and as he goes down towards Lisboa, the front two are already there. And David Datzer will hope perhaps that he can find maybe through to Melco to close that gap back up, but Costamo, unfortunately, I'm not getting any sector times. There must be an issue with the timings this morning, unfortunately, because I'm not getting anything right now, so we can't even give you the sector times. But visibly, Datzer is losing ground to Costamo, and of course, tyres coming into play, etc. So Erno Costamo, as we said at the start, red hot favourite. A couple more laps to go after this. Should be, and in fact he's pulling away now from Datzer. That's going to be over a second. It's going to be something like 1.3 seconds, I think, at the end if they maintain this speed. At the end of this lap, in fact, it's going up, and I think maybe Datzer has said, that's it, you can have this one. We've had some fun over 5.5 laps, but it's your race, Erno. Yeah, that gap has extended. That's the times at the end of lap number 1. Oh, so much movement, bounces through. Datzer still there in 2nd place, but Costamo knows he has to get the speed to get up. Then you come in here, just dab the rear. You can see how much movement there is. You can see the way, look at the white line on the outside of the track. You see how that goes up and down. You can tell how bumpy. You can see the way that the bike's compressing, or the bikes are compressing. You can see how bumpy this is. It's almost like a wave pool, this section here. Out of turn 1. And there we are, fastest lap, 2:27.4. So we're getting, at least we're getting a lap time now. No surprise to see that. So 2 more laps, or less than 2 more laps to go. Those gaps are appearing. And I think the way the gaps are going, I think the decision to hold an 8-lap race is proving to be the correct one. We'll have 1 more lap after this. Here's Sheridan Murray. Such a great start from the South African. Well, I say South, he was born in South Africa, but he actually is of Portuguese nationality. A cracking start from him, led over the first couple of laps. However, couldn't hold on to that lead, was duffed up going into Melco. Lucas Mora looking a safe 4th place, and Julian Trummer has now passed Rob Hodson. Oh, and Camille Holland is a retirement. Is that? I'm trying to work out exactly where Camille Holland has gone. I don't think it looked like Lisboa, but I don't think it was. So Camille Holland from the Czech Republic, who'd had some electrical problems, certainly with the battery on the bike earlier this week, didn't get as much track time as he was hoping for. He's not going to make it to the end. Almost on rails, Costamo. Yeah, Datsa, as you can see, he's just said, yeah, let's bring this home in 2nd place. Did ever so well. He's had a great week so far. That's a bit smoother from Costamo as he hits the bottom of that turn. So 2:27 is his fastest lap. So last board goes out. Erno Costamo is 3.8 miles away from being the first Finnish rider to win the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix. The official lap record, 2:23.6, set by Stuart Easton. Glenn Irwin did that 2:23.08 on the Ducati back in 2017, but that was during qualifying, so unofficial. So Mandarin is where Holland's bike is parked up. So into Lisboa, so Lucas Mora, a solid 4th place, started on the middle of row 2. He will, of course, be the first Kawasaki of 4 home. In fact, of 3 really, because Holland will be a retirement. So Finnish winner for the very first time at Macau, the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix. It may not be a classic finish to the race that we may have been hoping for, but it's been a wonderful display. And Erno Costamo knows now, just keep it focused, keep it tight. Not too far to go. The checkered flag is ready and waiting as he goes around Donna Maria for the very last time into the Melco hairpin. And this, okay, may not be an exciting end to the race, but with so many debutants, especially these 2 riders coming to Macau for the very first time, it is a sensible finish to the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix. And that will do as bikes come back for the first time since 2019. So here we go, folks, for the very last time into the last turn. Una and Pekka, his 2 mechanics alongside him as he goes and takes the checkered flag. It is victory for Erno Costamo at Macau. David Datsa with a fantastic 2nd place. Over the line he goes, and Sheridan Murray delighted to take 3rd. Murray having led as well, he'll be able to tell everyone that he led a Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix, and he'll get to stand on the podium as well. Lucas Mora crosses the line in fourth, and Hodgson has reclaimed fifth place from Julian Trummer. Trummer would have enjoyed that as well. So we're still waiting for Perez to cross the line. So 6 have come through. Delight amongst the Penn's 13 teams, because Rico Penskoffer has a hand in all 3 of the riders on the podium. Here comes Lucas Mora to offer his congratulations as well, I would imagine, as they come down into Lisboa. So trying to determine from each other as they come into Lisboa. Big cheers for the bikes. It's great to have bikes back at Macau. Only 2 parts of the circuit where spectators are allowed to gather, of course, and here at Lisboa. So we've had, and I'm glad to say, an incident-free race. We've gone the full distance. We've done that race for some time. I don't know if we've done that in any kind of race at Macau for some time. An uninterrupted full-distance race. But these riders have come to Macau, enjoyed the experience immensely. I mean, David Datzer will stand on the podium 2 months ago, something he would have dreamed of. But Erno Costamo, perhaps deservedly, he has been the best rider from the word go this week. And that also breaks up that long line of British race winners, the likes of John McGuinness, David Jeffries, Stuart Easton, Peter Hickman, Michael Rutter. And Costamo becomes the first Scandinavian winner as well, not just from Finland, first Scandinavian bike winner. Rob Hodgson, well, we're expecting maybe he would have taken the fight to Costamo, and certainly during free practice it was shaping up to be between those 2. But they've been trying a few different things with the Daffer Bet Racing Kawasaki. It's not quite happened for them today. But you know, Rob Hodgson will certainly be coming back to Macau in future. Here he is on bike 44. David Datz really impressed as well. For someone who's never been here, he looked like whether he's been doing on the games console. Not that it's anything like it, of course, but just in terms of knowing his way around. But David Datzer, for me, arguably the most impressive. Yep, you can say Costamo's topped every timesheet so far, but he's been here in the past. David Datzer hasn't. Really impressive ride from Datzer. And also a good advert for the International Road Racing Championship, of course. They have some very fine riders in that series. Julian Trummer from Austria will be delighted with his result as well. So there are no spectators, obviously, of course, people living in the high-rises that line the circuit. So a great way to start Sunday, sorry. Macau. A race that saw Sheridan Murray get a cracking start. And if you did miss the start for whatever reason, it was Sheridan Murray who led going into turn 1. Costamo from pole, not with the best of starts. Found himself very quickly in 4th place. Behind Hodgson, who got into 2nd, and Datzer. Datzer on the back wheel now, then past Hodgson. And Costamo soon got up into 2nd place. Murray led for the first couple of laps. But then on the 3rd lap, as they came into Melco, it was Murray from Costamo, from Datzer, very tight. And Murray just left a little gap for Costamo and Datzer to go through, and he suddenly found himself shuffled from 1st back to 3rd. And from that moment on, even though Datzer stayed right with him, Costamo just too powerful, too fast, and takes the race win here. They really will be cheering back home in Finland. Very deserved applause. That's what it means, folks. That is what it means. Don't start that, it'll get us all going. But David Datzer showing the emotion of finishing not only a race at Macau.
Go up on the bike and do it like this, man. Go up, stand up, stand up. Yeah!
So Erno Costamo, he has looked a cool character all week. The only time we saw him looking flustered was a little bit yesterday when we had the discussions on the start line before the cancelled first race. But there is our winner for the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix in 2022. Erno Costamo of Finland on the BMW, riding for Pens 13. Sheridan Murray, he'll be delighted as well.
Great job.
What a difference 24 hours makes. Yeah, David Datzer.
Very nice job.
Brilliant, brilliant from them. Absolutely fantastic.
For the camera.
As Mervyn White offers his congratulations to the race winner as well. But
Thank you. First class. Thank you.
so David Datzer, fantastic for the German, and Erno Costamo, the race winner, just about to take off his helmet. And just like most Finns, I think, it's they seem to have one expression really, and that's it. That's probably the same with the car racing world as well, I would imagine, that you don't get a lot of expression from the Finns, but a little bit of a grin. So Erno Costamo, fastest all through free practice and qualifying. There is the result, folks. Costamo is the race winner from David Datzer, and Murray taking third place. Mora in fourth. Hodson getting past Trummer to take fifth. And Nadia Schutz manages to get 12th ahead of Camille Holland, who retired, of course, and Timothée Monot, who also didn't manage to go the full race distance. So we still have a podium celebration to come. That will be a little while yet as we get ready for the cars, but that is, we were hoping to have, of course, 2 8-lap motorcycle races on the return of bikes to Macau. That's not going to happen this year. And it did look maybe at one point that we may not have any motorcycle racing at Macau, certainly with what was going on last night. But the decision to wait and hold it over till this morning has proven to be the correct one. We've had a good race. Everybody stayed upright. And nothing to really concern anybody. But yeah, certainly Costamo, fastest lap of the race as well, takes the race victory. There'll be hopefully a time for a press conference as well, but there are the machines. Another win for BMW puts them on 4 alongside Suzuki, Kawasaki and Ducati. Yamaha and Honda still the most successful manufacturers in terms of motorcycles at Macau. But Costamo puts his name alongside a lot of race winners. Now the likes of Kevin Fogarty, who would go, after racing at Macau, would go on to win the Grand Prix 500 Championship and the World Superbike Championship respectively. So here we go then. We're getting ready for the podium.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The first trophy presentation today. Our podium for the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix, the 54th edition, Race 2. Third place rider, number 32, Sheridan Wesley Moraes. Congratulations. Second place rider, number 55, David Mario Datser. Congratulations. And our winner, number 38, Erno Johanni Costamo. Congratulations. National anthem for the winner.
A proud moment for Erno Costamo, a proud moment for Finland.
And now, may I have the honor to invite Mr. Poon Wing Koon, President of the Sports Bureau and Coordinator of the Macau Grand Prix Organizing Committee, to present the trophies to our winning drivers. First to third place driver, number 32, Sheridan Moraes. And to David Dasser, our second place rider. And now to our champion, Erno Costamo. Congratulations. Let's get closer together for a group photo. Trophies in the air. Thank you, Mr.
So it's been a long, long time since we've had a Macau motorcycle Grand Prix without a British rider, not just on the top step of the podium, but on the podium at all.
Champagne time.
So we are going to have some champagne then. Fu Wing-Kum, who presented the awards, managing to get out of the way. So it may be breakfast time, but it's never too early for champagne. So we got there in the end, folks, with the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix. I'm trying to think back to the last time there was no, in fact, it was probably before Chas Mulder won back in 1976. I think we've had a British rider on the Macau podium for bikes.
Congratulations again to our winning riders.
So we have a Finn, a German and a Portuguese rider making up the podium. BMW, Honda, and also a good race for Pirelli and Metzler. Their guys taking the top three positions. We may still get the chance of a press conference. We'll wait and see, because we have got some car racing on the way. Until then, let's just enjoy some of the highlights from the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix, the 54th here at the Gear Circuit, this time for 2022.